Hi everybody, it is January 23rd, and in today's video I'm going to be going over briefly week 3 and week 4 on Blackboard. So in week 3 you will be completing the annotated bibliography part 1, and that is a really important and key part of completing your project this term. Many of you begin this process when you're in the research class, and that's great. And you will continue that process here. For some of you, depending on the instructor that you had, perhaps you didn't complete the annotated bibliography the way that we're going to do it. However, I think you'll find that the format is pretty simple and laid out in a way that you just plug and play the information. So we'll talk about that as we move down. So during week 3, you're going to annotate 10 sources of the 20, and then you'll submit that. There is a search result, improving search results, sort of a video. It's not really it kind of just walks through some tips for that. I also sent out another helpful video that also had some ways to look for information. That was from Greta, and you can find that in your announcements. Greta Grund is Dr. Grund is our head librarian at DeWitt Library for Northwestern College. She's super helpful, and if you reach out to her, she will help you find sources if you are stuck. So here we have the template, we have a sample, and then we have the model finding section. And that just gives you some examples of what to put in that finding section. So remember, you have to get instructor approval on the annotated bibliography before you're going to submit anything else. So it's really important that you work on this carefully. You have to get a 1 on part 1 in order to move on to part 2. You are going to be reading research articles from peer-reviewed scholarly journals. These are not blogs, newspaper articles, websites, or non-academic sources. Please do not use dissertations, theses, or capstone projects. And you'll want to be careful that you are not reading literature reviews or meta-analyses, because those are actually what you're going to be creating. And so you don't want to use those to create yours. Now, you will find that there are times when you can use other sources that are not research studies, and those can be used in your introduction. Those could be used in intro paragraphs in each section of your lit review. Those of you that are doing school improvement, there are lots and lots of places for you to use that kind of information. So you may have well more than 20 sources in this paper, because you can use them for those other pieces, but they cannot appear on the annotated bibliography, and they cannot appear in the bulk of the literature review. Because remember, you're reviewing current literature so that you can make a case for where your action research study appears within all of the other studies. If you're doing school improvement, your literature review is the way that you're going to convince leadership to either put time, money, or resources behind your idea. And it has to be couched in the research in order for that to be true. So that's why this is important for either project. All right, I'm going to click over here to week 4 for those of you that are working ahead a little bit. You'll notice you're going to do the second half of your annotated bibliography. And then you will receive a 1, and then you can move on. And then we come to the proposal draft. So there is a document for that. And once you have kind of talked about your subject to me, you have submitted that. And if I had concerns, I let you know. And then you're going to be basically telling me what your plans and ideas are. And so once I review that proposal, it will be approved as is, approved after you make some revisions, or not approved. And of course, it'll be a 0 or a 1 situation there. And starting now with this particular document, you are going to want to label things a certain way, and they will always be labeled that way. All submissions must be labeled last name dot first name dot the name of the assignment. So for this example, it would be proposal draft, and we just put introduction there because you will be turning in an introduction in the future. So this is the name of the assignment and then the date. Okay, so we would just I ask that you label all of your submissions starting with the proposal draft in this particular naming convention. Once I've approved your proposal, please, please, please do not switch projects. It will really mess you up because you're going to really start putting in time and effort. Now, that doesn't mean under an extreme circumstance that I cannot hear maybe a reason and perhaps could approve it. I just really would like to see you, especially once we get into like week 4, week 5, week 6. It's just, I don't want you to lose time by starting over. Okay. So please, as always, communicate with me. So that is week 3 and week 4. Please, please remember that you have to, when you see a must do, you have to do it and get a 1 before you can move on to the next thing. If you have submitted something and you are stuck and I haven't, seen it or had the chance to grade it, please, please, please let me know. Send me an email and perhaps I can hop in and get that taken care of. I can't always promise that, but I do really try to grade. I think those of you that are working ahead a little bit know that I grade every couple days. I certainly don't wait until the end of the week to do grading. So please let me know because I don't want you to sit and wait, but I also have a job and a consulting agency. So sometimes I might not hop on Blackboard. Please remember that I pray for you by name every single day, and I am hoping for your success and praying for your success and here if you need anything. So have a fantastic week.